Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and I know to some of you this Q&A might be coming out a bit later than expected. This Q&A is for 400 subscribers, even though I did hit 400 subscribers like about a month and a half ago, or a bit over a month ago, something like that. So I do apologize that this is coming out a bit later than probably a lot of you would have expected. The only reason why, really, is just because I wanted to make sure that I was going to get a lot of Who'd Win Whys out before I started this. I wanted to focus my time a lot on that, and I was able to get out half the season before I started this, which I am happy about, especially, since school is starting up, and I want to make sure that I could get that done, while school was still going on, making sure that I could get those out at a reasonable rate. In fact, I'm actually filming this video 1 week before it's actually going to get uploaded, simply because I know I have time to do it now, and I'm not sure if I'd have time to do it next week, because, 11th grade's got me so busy. But anyway, so yeah, that's really why it's late. I'm sorry again, but it's here now, so yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time. No real introduction needed. Let's just get right into it. So for 400 subscribers, for nearly 3.5 years on YouTube, and for nearly 100,000 overall channel views, here it is, the Rappter Q&A number 4. I hope you guys enjoy. So this Q&A is going to work a lot like the other Q&As have worked. I'm going to start with one person, work my way through their questions, and then move on to the next person, because a lot of you guys did ask more than one question. I'm also going to try to keep the answers short this time around, like I tried to do last time, because I don't want the video to get too long, and I did limit it to 4 questions per person this time around. So if you did ask more than 4 questions, I am only answering 4 of them. Sorry about that, but I don't want this video to get too long. But let's start off with someone good. Let's start off with Conqueror. So Conqueror asks, what is your favorite alien species in fiction? This is actually a pretty tough question. When I first hear this question, I'm already inclined to say Vulcans, since Spock is one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, and my favorite Star Trek character. However, one of the reasons why I like Spock is because he's half Vulcan, half human, and I'm not a big fan of just the Vulcans themselves. So I'm not really sure if I would say they're my favorite species, alien species in all of fiction. My answer, though, actually is from Star Trek, another alien species from Star Trek, which are Tribbles. I think Tribbles are so hilarious. Just the concept of them being able to multiply by themselves, and then, just the rate that they're increasing, that they're multiplying. It's just such a funny concept, such a creative concept. There was a whole episode surrounding that in the original series that I just loved, so I think they'd probably be my favorite alien species in all of fiction. But I do also like Skrulls from Marvel. They're pretty cool too. If you met the Cookie Monster, would you be friends with him? If it means that I was able to have some of his cookies, yes. If not, probably still yes. The Legends asks, if you could meet any YouTuber in the world, who would it be? I think I would want to meet Jax Films, simply because he's one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. He's so funny, but I've also heard that in real life, he's a really nice guy, so I think I'd have a really funny and interesting conversation with him. He seems very polite from what I've seen of him, like outside of actually like a scripted, funny video. He actually seems like a really nice guy, so he'd probably be the YouTuber I'd want to meet most. What camera do you use? I'm not sure if you guys really think that my videos are great quality or not, or whatever you think, but the camera that I use is just my standard iPad. I have an iPad mini, and that's what I'm using to record this right now. I do try to upload in the best quality possible. I do have a special app for that, like a YouTube editor or something like that. I'm not really sure what it's called, I forget what it's called, but it's specifically designed for me to be able to upload my videos in a higher quality. But in terms of just the camera, I don't have a special camera, I don't have a microphone or anything like that. This is just my iPad, so yeah, that's basically just the camera I use for all my videos, except for the reactions. For the reaction videos, I have a special app on my phone that allows me to do that. That's what I use for reaction videos. Who is your favorite superhero and villain? Favorite superhero? Nightcrawler. I have a lot of nostalgia with this character. When I saw X2, I loved this guy so much. I thought that scene was so awesome, and I'm not really sure why I still like him today. It's more just, I've liked him for a really long time, and I still like him. He's still a really cool character. And, just for nostalgia alone, I guess I would say he's still my favorite superhero to this day. And in terms of my favorite villain, I'd probably have to say Deathstroke from DC, Nightcrawler from Marvel, Deathstroke from DC, because I just think Deathstroke is such a badass. I loved him in the Teen Titans show, but when I learned what he was actually like in the comics, I loved him even more. So yeah, probably favorite superhero in the world, Nightcrawler, favorite supervillain in the world, Deathstroke. What are you gonna do when you hit 50 million subscribers? I am not gonna hit that much. But if I ever did hit that much, I would probably do something absolutely extreme and crazy, and I would get it on video. I'm not sure what that would be, and I'll never have to decide that, because I don't think I'll ever hit 50 million subscribers, but if I did, it would be something so extreme, so crazy, I would get it on video. Not sure what that is, but it would be something absolutely insane. Max Bane asks, what is your favorite Cartoon Fight Club episode of Season 3? I'm just gonna say this right now, I do not watch all the Cartoon Fight Club episodes. I really only watch the episodes that I'm really into. When it comes to the season 3 episodes, though, and remember, this is just from the ones that I personally have watched, my favorite, I would say, is Ruby Rose versus Maka, or Maka versus Ruby, whatever the order was. And the main reason for this is because when it comes to the explanation, I'm not actually caught up on Ruby yet. I have watched a lot of it, but I'm not fully caught up. But from what he said about those two characters in the explanation, it does make a lot of sense for the victor. I'm not going to spoil who won, but it did make a lot of sense, and I did really have appreciation for that, because I thought it was a really good explanation. And also, the animation is fairly good. I mean, like, it's not seamless 3D animation. Obviously, you know, there are things that could be improved on in that animation, but it is an animation that I still enjoyed watching, and I would watch again. So just because I really like the post-analysis, and I also fairly like the animation, that would probably be my favorite. But then again, remember, I still haven't watched a lot of Cartoon Fight Club episodes. Jacob Bess asks, what was it like when you first started this channel? This was actually a rapping channel when I first started this channel, believe it or not, and there are actually rap videos still on my channel, but they are extremely cringeworthy. And at the beginning, it was really hard for me to actually build up subscribers, because what I was doing wasn't really, you know, clicking with a lot of viewers. I really only got like 32 subscribers in my first year, so yeah, it really wasn't that big or anything. You know, my channel, obviously, it's not really that big right now when you compare it to other channels, not big at all, but it's much bigger than what it was. And I really only started because it was a school project and people liked it that much, so I just decided to put it on YouTube, and I kept doing that kind of thing. But it wasn't anything big. I didn't take it that seriously. I do take it more seriously today, and it wasn't anything like it was right now. It was more of a rapping channel. It wasn't really anything with like who'd win and why. That started like about a year and a half ago, or a year and a bit ago. So yeah, it was very different in the past. If you want to like look at what it really was like, you know, just go back to some of the older videos if you're prepared to cringe. Do you like My Little Pony? I have not watched My Little Pony at all, so I'm kind of indifferent about it. There have been multiple people, however, who have told me to start watching it because it's actually really good. And I did watch Deadpool vs. Pinkie Pie, and from what I've seen of it, it doesn't look terrible or anything. Like, it actually looks pretty interesting, the show. So I might get into it one day, but I am still pretty busy, although I am trying to make an effort to actually, like, watch some shows, like My Little Pony and, you know, Ruby, because I still gotta get caught up on that, as I've said. So I will try to get it, like, I will try to actually start watching it at one point, but I haven't started watching it yet. Do you watch SpongeBob? I do still watch SpongeBob whenever it comes on, whenever I see it on TV, but I don't make it like a priority to watch every single episode of SpongeBob. It's not really something I keep track of that closely. It was something I kept track of, though, when I was younger. When I was younger, I liked to watch a ton of SpongeBob episodes because it was one of my favorite shows back then. I do still feel that the older episodes are better in terms of overall quality than the newer episodes. Obviously, the animation has gotten better in the newer episodes, but in terms of overall quality, I do think the older ones are better. So I would say that I still watch SpongeBob and I still like it, but I don't make it a top priority to watch every single episode. But if it's on, then yeah, I'll watch it. I still find it pretty enjoyable. What's your favorite cartoon? My favorite cartoon is definitely Teen Titans. Not the newer one, the older one. And I know that that is an older show, you know, in the sense that, like, it has already stopped. It's not a present show that's going on right now. But if I was talking about, like, all the cartoons that I've ever watched, it is definitely my favorite. I was able to binge all of it because I actually started watching it after the show was finished. So, you know, it was so awesome watching all of them so quickly, and I just fell in love with the characters, especially Beast Boy. So in terms of cartoons, it is definitely my favorite cartoon, and I would say it is probably one of my favorite shows ever on TV. KORIN O'Keefe asks, have you ever watched Hunter x Hunter? I have not watched Hunter x Hunter. I have heard of it, but I don't really know anything about it, so I don't really have anything more to say about this answer. Are you a fan of the Versus show known as Universes? Universes, that's the show that Leopold the Brave does, right? I have watched a bit of episodes. One of the more recent episodes I saw was Gru versus Megamind, you know, that one, or Megamind versus Gru, whatever the title was. I do watch some of it, but I don't watch a lot of the show. So again, like Cartoon Fight Club, really only the episodes that I come across that really interest me. Who do you think would win between Gohan and Superboy? I do not know a lot about Gohan, so I'm really not sure, you know, if any answer that I give can really be, you know, like, can really have any weight in any sense. But from the limited knowledge I know about them, I would probably lean more towards Gohan. I think he's just more powerful. JJ Slider asks, what is your favorite anime that you've watched? If we're including Ruby, Ruby. If we're not including Ruby, Probably Naruto. What is the worst game you've played? I'm just gonna say this right now, I am not a big gamer, and I haven't played a lot of games, a lot of bad games. All the games that I have played, I have really enjoyed, so this is actually a really hard question for me to answer. However, one time at a friend's house, I did play Sonic 06, and I have heard pretty bad things about this game, and from what I played of it, I can kind of understand where people are coming from. So just because I haven't played any real bad games that I actually own, and because I did play Sonic 06 that one time, and I do understand why people don't like it, I'm gonna go ahead and say Sonic 06 is the worst game I've ever played. What versus debate would you like to see put to animation? This is actually a really good question. I think the versus debate that I'd like to see put to animation would probably be Batman versus Black Panther, which is actually a fight that, you know, I did on HARPER earlier this season. I think that if it was like 3D animation and they had good 3D models for them, you know, kind of like Torian style animation, how it looks very fluid, I think that it would look spectacular with Black Panther flipping all over the place and Batman using all of his gadgets and, you know, them going hand to hand. I just think that in 3D animation, if anyone could do it right, that would just look spectacular. So that's probably the debate I would want to see put to animation. What are you majoring in college? I'm actually hoping to try to go to university rather than college, but I know that's not really the point of the question. In terms of what I would actually, like, what I'm majoring in, I don't know. I don't really know exactly, you know, a lot of the programs or what universities I really like to go to. I've been on a few university tours, but I haven't really made any decisions about, like, the types of programs or the university I want to go to. I know I have to start thinking about that soon, but I haven't made any final decisions. Do I have ideas? Yes, but I haven't made any final decisions, so, you know, I'm just gonna keep it quiet for now. Pedro Gallo asks, why are you called the Rappter? Okay, so this is actually a bit of an embarrassing story. So remember how I said that my channel used to be just a rapping channel? Well, originally my YouTube name was just Garrett Allardyce, because that's my name, and I couldn't really think of anything better. However, when I kept doing more raps, I wanted to actually come up with an actual name for myself, and I came up with The Rappter, because I thought, you know, like, rapper with a T in there, you know, just like a dinosaur type thing. I don't really know what I was thinking. I was younger back then, but, you know, I changed it to that, and I haven't really lost it or anything. I just kind of kept it even with the newer stuff I've been doing. And I don't really want to change it now, because I've always started off, like, a ton of my videos with, hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is The Rappter, and I just feel if I change it now, then so many people are going to be confused. So, you know, it doesn't really make sense for what I'm doing right now, but I just don't really want to change it. I haven't had any really good reason to change it. I don't even know what I would change it to. So, yeah, that's basically why I'm called The Rappter. Basil Said asks, when are you going to make another rap? I've heard a lot of people that are older fans of my channel ask me this question. You know, this kind of ties into the last question I just answered, because, you know, there are still older subscribers that were subscribed to me because of the rapping stuff that I did. This guy being, well, this guy's actually one of my friends, but, you know, this guy was subscribed ever since I've done that. And, you know, basically I haven't done a rap in a really long time because it's not really what my channel's focusing on anymore. My channel gets most of its views and most of its subscribers from my reactions and my HARPER. I really have no other reason to do anything besides that, you know, at least not constantly. So, you know, with rapping, is it completely out of the question? No, but, you know, it's not really my focus now. You know, I haven't done a rap in a really long time, but that's because I have to devote my time to other things that are actually running my channel. Most of the people that are subscribed to my channel now would be so confused if I posted a rap because that's not what they've subscribed for. I gotta keep doing what people have subscribed to my channel for, and at this point, you know, over 400 subscribers, those people are subscribed for the stuff that I'm currently doing. So, yeah, I'm not really sure when or if I'm gonna make another rap. It's not out of the question, but it's not a priority anymore. Lord Gallo asks, how old are you? I am 16 years old. In fact, I actually just turned 16 and a half. I turned 16 and a half on September 13th, since my birthday is March 13th. Now, both Lords Gallo and Ryder27 asked for a shout out, and you know, because it's a Q&A, it's a special thing, why not? Let's just do it. So, shout out to Lords Gallo, link in the description to his channel, go check him out, and also go check out Ryder27, the link to his channel will also be in the description box as well, so go check him out. Nicole Harper asks, or I guess I should say says, grab the book nearest to you, turn to page 18, and find line 4. Okay, so the book that was nearest to me was actually this book, which is Magnus Chasing the Gods of Asgard, The Sword of Summer, which if you guys remember from my last Q&A, I said is my favorite book, and it is still one of my favorite books. So, turn to page 18, they said, or she said, let me see, turn to page 18, find line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's what line 4 says. So I was officially 16. For my present, I got cornered. Alright, there we go. Without looking, guess what time it is. Now look at the clock. What is the actual time? Okay, well, judging from the last time that I looked at the clock, I would probably say it's about 4:50 right now, maybe closer to 5. I'm gonna say 4:50, so now let me just check my phone. Let's see. Oh, 4:42. Okay, so it wasn't even 4:50. It wasn't anywhere close to 5, based on, minute by minute. Okay, so I was 8 minutes off. There we go. If you became a multimillionaire overnight, what would you buy? There's probably a lot of things I would do with money that I would just think of later, but the thing that I'm thinking of really right now, if I had a lot of money, was traveling, would be traveling. I would like to travel a lot of different places. Like, there are so many places I'd like to travel, like Scotland, because that's where a lot of my heritage comes from. Australia would be awesome too. Hawaii. Also, British Columbia, I'd also like to go there. There are a lot of places that I'd like to travel to. And, some of those places would be pretty expensive, so but I'd have the money for it. But, I'd probably also buy a lot of expensive things, like maybe a new TV or something like that. Again, I'm not really sure exactly what I would buy, but I do know for sure that I would be traveling a lot, because, if you have the money, why wouldn't you? Do you believe in love at first sight? I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I don't believe at love at first sight. I think in order to actually, fall in love with someone or to like someone, you have to grow closer to them. You have to see, if your interests match, if you really click, if you're really right for each other. And you can't tell that just by looking at someone. You really have to socialize with them, and looking at someone and thinking, oh, I'm immediately in love with them, that's not the way to do it at all. In fact, actually, just love at first sight, I feel, is really just, exclusive for attractive people looking at other attractive people and thinking that they're in love with each other when really they're not. I don't think love at first sight is real. It just doesn't make sense to me. YouTube King asks, will you ever stop doing Who'd Win and Why, or will you keep going? Will I stop doing Who'd Win and Why, like, ever? Of course. One day I am gonna die, and that means I won't be able to make any more videos. But if you're talking more in the sense, like, do I have any plans to stop right now? No, I don't have any plans to stop right now. I'm gonna try to do this as long as I possibly can, and there's nothing that is stopping me from doing it at this point. Really the only ways that I would actually stop doing this is if something drastic happens in my life, or if, I find that the work from school is too much to do videos, but even then, I'd probably still do it as much as I can, even if the length of time in between videos does get longer. So at this point, I don't have any plans to stop. I don't want to stop, but I will eventually have to stop. I just don't know when yet. Kieran McKenna asks, who do you think will die in Avengers 3? I'm actually not sure who will die in Avengers 3. I mean, like, there's been a lot of speculation about, like, really anyone being able to die. Some people have said that maybe everyone's going to die, or that someone will die, but, it's actually revealed to be a Skrull that died, because I think the 4th Avengers movie is supposed to have something to do with Skrulls, which is really cool. At least I think that's a rumor or something. I'm not really sure about that. I can say, though, that I do think Captain America, Steve Rogers, is going to die either in Avengers 3 or Avengers 4. I just think it's kind of inevitable. I mean, not because Chris Evans is getting older, but because Captain America did die in the comics, and I just think that him dying makes a lot of sense, considering that there are 2 people that could take his spot. Falcon, who is the current Captain America, and Bucky, who did once become Captain America. So I do think it is very possible. So I'm not sure who's going to die specifically in Avengers 3, but I do think Captain America, Steve Rogers, will die in Avengers 3, 4, or something else. I think he will eventually die. What is your favorite movie? Funny how we were talking about Captain America, because my favorite movie is Captain America Civil War. I just think that the way that they played off all the characters, with so many different characters, like 6 people on each team, that's 12 heroes all fighting each other, that's a lot to juggle, but I do think that Marvel did that really, really well. And, you had Black Panther and Spider-Man. Those 2 characters were fan favorites, and they were awesome. So it is definitely my favorite Marvel movie ever, and I do think I would say it is my favorite movie in general, at least at the moment, at least for right now. Do you watch The Walking Dead? No, I do not watch The Walking Dead, but my parents do. I don't really know why I need to say that, it's just I don't really have anything else to add to this answer. Do you play Telltale games? Again, another quick answer, no, I don't play Telltale games. GAGE UNRUH 2 asks, who do you think is Batman's deadliest villain in terms of potential? This question is actually really hard to answer because a lot of Batman's villains are more or less regular people. When we're talking about Joker and Penguin and Riddler and Two-Face and Catwoman, they don't really have any special abilities. And even the ones that do have abilities, like Clayface Two-Face or, you know, Killer Croc or Man-Bat, you know, they're not that strong in terms of overall power. Like, none of them would be able to destroy a whole city or anything like that. So it's really hard to answer the question. I don't know a lot about this character that I'm gonna say, and I know that, you know, someone will probably, you know, disagree with me on this, but from what I do know of the character, I think Batman's deadliest villain in terms of potential might be Prometheus. Prometheus is a very lesser-known Batman villain, or who knows, some of you may know him, but I know that his suit is very technologically advanced, and I do know he can do some damage. I don't know a lot about him, and in fact, you know, maybe the assumptions that I'm making of him are completely wrong, and again, someone's probably going to argue this point, but in my personal opinion, I do believe Prometheus is at least one of Batman's deadliest villains in terms of potential. Tennille Moss asks, what do you do when you're not posting videos? A lot of you probably don't know this about me, but I am really into the performing arts. Not really in terms of music, but more so in terms of drama. I have been in quite a number of plays and musicals. I've been in 1 musical and 3 plays, all of which were run by the school that I go to, and that's one of my passions. I do really like to act and perform and stuff like that. A lot of people say that I'm really good performing with my brother. They say that we're funny on stage together, which is pretty cool. I also do like to play baseball during the summer, although I'm not that great at it. I'd say that my biggest interest outside of YouTube would probably be acting and theater and the performing arts in general. If you went to the future, what'd be the one thing you'd do? I'm not sure if this answer has actually been, like, if it's a common answer or anything like that, but honestly, what I would do in the future, first of all, I'd look around in awe, you know, at all the things that are happening, at least depending on how far I go into the future, and then I'd probably steal something that hasn't been invented yet, study it, make sure I understand how it works, and then go back to the past, or back to the present, I guess I should say, and sell it off as my own, you know, and just maybe steal as much as I can, and, you know, again, just sell it off as my own and introduce it to people, and, you know, that way I'd make a lot of money. So I'm not sure if a lot of people have said this answer before, but that is honestly what I would do. So yeah. Do you ever feel like animating your Who'd Win and Why battles? I do think animations for Who'd Win and Why episodes would be pretty cool. I mean, if the animations were good enough, then that might mean that people, like, more people would come in and see the show, you know, and the show would just expand faster, it would grow faster. However, there are 2 reasons why I don't do animations on my channel, or on the show. One reason is because I can't animate myself, so I'm kind of out of luck there, but the other reason is because Who'd Win and Why is the type of show that doesn't need animations. You know, this is more of a debate thing, where, you know, I just give my opinions on who I think would win certain fights, and you guys give your opinions down in the comments below too. So it's the type of show that really doesn't need animations in order to operate. I still just talk in front of a camera, and for a show like this is all that the show really needs. So animations would be awesome, but in the end, they're not really necessary. I just do what I do because I love it. I love talking to you guys, you know, in front of the camera, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Did you like the Emoji Movie? I actually never saw the Emoji Movie. However, from the clips I've seen on YouTube, and just from what people have been telling me, I can probably already say that I would not like this movie, so I guess my best answer is no, even though I never saw it. Mr. E asks, what are your hobbies and interests outside of YouTube? I kind of already answered this question. Like I said, I do really like to act and perform, and I do play a bit of baseball from time to time, generally just during the summer. What is your favorite sport to play and or watch? Well, I think the sport that I most like to play is baseball, considering that is the only sport that I have really ever played. And in terms of sports that I like to watch, it's a tie between baseball, again, and hockey, because both of them I love to watch so much. I'm Canadian, you know, I like hockey, you know, but I also really like to watch baseball. If I had to pick one, I would actually probably say baseball, because I do love the Toronto Blue Jays, and, you know, I just love watching baseball games, you know, both in person, but also, you know, on TV, but hockey games are also really cool too. So I'd say it's, you know, probably baseball's a bit above hockey, but I do really like both of them in terms of watching them. Lucas Green asks, what episodes of Who'd Win and Why would you go back and redo if you could? I would redo any episode that involved a character that was involved in a death battle after that Who'd Win and Why episode was made. And the reason for that is because I just have more information on that character. For example, I did Deathstroke versus Shredder, and Shredder versus Silver Samurai came out, you know, the death battle, you know, after that. And, you know, if I could redo Deathstroke versus Shredder, that'd be pretty cool, you know, now I have better information. Now, I'm not saying that I would change my answer necessarily, but I do think that I would be able to give better information, and the episode overall would just be better. So any episode like that. Is there anyone you know in real life who would be worthy enough to lift Thor's hammer? I would probably have to say my dad. I know that it's a bit cheesy, but my dad is my role model. He is a great person overall. He's very funny, he's very smart, he's very helpful. If there was any one person that I would pick, you know, in reality that would be able to lift Thor's hammer, it would be my dad. And again, I know it's kind of cheesy, but that is the truth. What person do you say deserves to die at this moment in time? See, these kind of questions are a bit weird to me because I don't really think anyone deserves to die. Even if, you know, they have committed something like murder, I don't think that, you know, the penalty should be that they die as well. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's really how it works. I think that, like, everyone could be considered for redemption, you know? I don't think that, you know, just because you take a life doesn't mean your life has to be taken. Even the worst of things, you know, I feel, you know, the person shouldn't deserve to die. So there's really no one I know that deserves to die because I don't really think anything that you can do should make you deserve to die, that you should pay with your life, you know what I mean? Some of you may disagree with that, but I can't think of anyone who deserves to die at this moment in time. And now, the last question. How would you rank Hugh Jackman's performances from the 9 X-Men movies he's been in? Hugh Jackman is an absolute legend. He did a great job of bringing Wolverine to life on screen, and to me, he is the definitive live-action Wolverine for me forever. I can't think of anyone else who would be able to replace him as Wolverine. There's no one else that I feel could replace him as Wolverine. Now, in terms of ordering his performances as Wolverine from worst to best, I'm already gonna put X-Men Apocalypse as number 9, and X-Men First Class is number 8, simply just because they're cameos, and you know, while he did do really well in those cameos, I want to focus more on the stuff where he had a big part in, you know, the other 7 movies where he had a much bigger role in those movies, and the reason why I do put X-Men First Class above X-Men Apocalypse is because I did like the First Class one more, but again, I'm automatically putting those at the bottom simply just because they're cameos, and I don't want to focus more on that. I want to focus more on the stuff where he had a much bigger part in. I would probably put X-Men Origins as number 7 and X-Men The Last Stand is number 6. I know that I'm supposed to be looking at the performances of the actor and not necessarily, you know, how good the movies were, but sometimes I feel that if the movie is bad, it will almost decrease the quality of the actual performances, just because, you know, the whole movie, you know, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and also because I feel sometimes the actors are aware that it's bad and they're not really giving it their all, but I do think that his performance in The Last Stand was better than the one in Origins. That's why Origins is number 7, and Last Stand is number 6. And now, going from 5 to 1, I would say it would be X-Men 1, X-Men Days of Future Past, X2, The Wolverine, and then Logan. The reason why X-Men 1 is at the bottom of this 5-spot list is, you know, because it's his first time doing it, but that's understandable. I still think he did really well. Next up is Days of Future Past, and the reason for that is because I feel that he wasn't given as many challenging things to do in the role this time around. Some of you may think that that's, you know, that's just wrong, that you may disagree, but that's just how I see it. X2, he did really well in that. I can't really think of anything bad he did or anything like that. He did really well in the role, like amazingly well. The reason why I'm putting The Wolverine above it is because I think that, you know, it's just so impressive that he's still able to pull off the role without having a lot of X-Men to interact with. Just the fact that he can do that by himself is very impressive, and I think we all knew Logan was going to be at the top. His performance absolutely blew me away. We had the Berserker Rage, we had him, you know, struggling with everything. You know, I just feel like, you know, Hugh Jackman better win an Oscar for that. Like, seriously. His performance absolutely blew me away. That movie blew me away. It is one of my favorite of these 9 movies. X2 is probably still at the top, but I did really love this movie too, Logan, and one of the reasons is because his performances was incredible, mind-blowing, definitely the best performance Hugh Jackman has done as Wolverine. So, just going through all of them again from numbers 9 to 1, X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men First Class, X-Men Origins, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men 1, the first movie, X-Men Days of Future Past, X2, The Wolverine, and then Logan. So that's my list. That's my own personal list. Again, you guys can disagree. That's perfectly fine. This is just my own opinion. So guys, that's it. We are done with the Q&A. I'm not sure how long it ended up being. You know, it probably was much longer than I wanted it to be, but obviously I won't know until I'm finished editing this. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, the Q&A is finally here, you know, after so long of waiting. I really hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless, though. If you did, please give this video a huge like. Comment down below what you thought of it, you know, what you thought of my answers. You know, if you want to give your own answers to some of these questions too, you know, if you want to, that's perfectly fine too. And if you if you could subscribe to my channel, that'd be so great. That would really help my channel out. I'm not sure why anyone who's not a subscriber would be watching this, but you know, if you just happen to stumble on the channel, hey, my name is the Rappter, and yeah, this was the 4th Q&A. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoy doing this, you know, these Q&As for every 100 subscribers I hit. I can't wait until we hit 500 subscribers. I know we can do it. I know it's in the future, and I'm just so happy that, you know, you guys have stuck around. You know, 400 subscribers, that's crazy. Whether you're old or new, you know, an older subscriber or a new subscriber, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys so much. So here's to 500 subscribers, and that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A, and I'm out. See you later, and have a good night.